the overall artistry, the creativity to make something out of nothing. It's more an art form than, I would say, just grabbing a camera and doing whatever you want with it.
This could be a viable film community. We have everything you really need in terms of locations, in fact more.
Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky has probably some of the most qualified and talented filmmakers I've ever met.
Who's calling now when the telephone rings, it screams at me.
As I was freelancing, we felt the need for rental equipment in town. And me and a couple other guys got together, started a company where we rent lights, dollies, grip equipment to movies, commercial productions, videos, special events, things like that. Now, the interesting thing, though, is business in Cincinnati is going down. It's being flip-flopped. Back in the old days, all the way up through the 90s, 70% of the business came from Cincinnati, regionally speaking. Now it's 70% of our work is out of town. Why is that? Commercial production is down. There's not enough commercials being made.
I mean, as far as like crew around here, I mean, so many people that are just like, you know, just really brilliant artists and crew people that are just know their stuff. Or I mean, anytime people come in for a shoot, you know, from either of the coasts, you know, I mean, the crew people always get the comment about like, oh man, you guys really know your stuff so well, you know. And really, Cincinnati is such a beautiful city.
We've got interesting and distinctive topography.
I'm a big fan of Ohio, period, but specifically Cincinnati. I think no matter what you want, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're say looking for a period specific thing. I mean, literally, you have things that work from the 1700s up till now. I mean, there are neighborhoods where you step in that neighborhood and it's like, you know, it's like you're in 1928 or, you know, you're in 1950, whatever. I mean, there's literally, you just go block to block and it's really like a veritable photographic playground.
That we can, that photograph very well. And we would like to be able to continue to use and exploit those resources, personnel and natural resources, to continue to create media based here.
Once they see what's here, it's easy to get a little addicted to it and want to come here because filmmaking is really easy here. People still get excited about filming here, so getting locations is not difficult.
You know, we had a couple of shoots at local businesses, and where we even shut down part of a parking lot because we had a dolly with a huge jib arm on it for this huge tracking shot. I mean, the response is, oh, okay, yeah, we find the right place. We ask, and you know, the locations. I don't think any location actually even charged.
They're still excited about it. It's like, oh, a film shut down my street. Cool, I want to go see what's going on. Not another film shut down my street. We want them here. When they do come here, they see that, and they see that it's a fresh perspective, not something they experience in LA, not something they experience in New York, not something they experience in Miami or Chicago. We're still excited about film here. My time here in the town in the last 12 years or so, the ease of getting permits it's become so much easier to get permits. You can get permits for basically, you know, anywhere. There are some protected areas, Eden Park, Fountain Square, protected with, you know, with good understanding of why. But it doesn't mean you can't get there. It just means you got to get a permit, you got to pay a fee, that kind of thing. I was the producer of a film called 3 Barbecues that was filmed entirely in Cincinnati. The whole thing was done here. The post was done in this building by Lightborn, which is why I kind of am connected to the company now. Getting the shoot done wasn't difficult because all the resources I need are all the resources I use on a daily basis. Namely, I needed a gaffer, and I needed a key grip, and I needed guys to help light, and I needed a makeup artist. And those are all my friends from being in this business. So it felt very much like summer camp. It was like every weekend we got together and we shot stuff. It wasn't until we got to the marketing phase, it's a phase that I think every new filmmaker is delusional if they don't think it's as important, if not more important. That's where we really hit a wall, and it was like, wow, now we have to sell the film. Making the film was rather easy, but we didn't have the constant, you know, to market it, we had to go out there and really sell it.
Just advertisement, promotions, marketing, just to get it out, and for us as filmmakers to spread the word. So we can get some more filmmakers that are up and coming, or those who are in the woodworks to come out and say, okay, this is us, support us, let's do this, let's come together as a community.
Well, I think an organization like SOFA, Southern Ohio Filmmakers Association, can help. They have been very helpful in creating a sense of community and getting people in touch with one another.
It's helped kind of keep us together and keep the networking going on.
Its biggest contribution really has just been creating a place for the filmmakers to come together, because for a long, long time that didn't exist. And there were a lot of people out there working kind of in isolation, and having a place where they could meet and trade ideas and give one another jobs and teach one another skills and so forth.
What SOFA has done for the local film industry is it has galvanized everybody in the film community. It's become a clearinghouse for ideas. It's become a safe harbor where people who are crazy enough to believe that they can make a living in this ridiculous industry can come and receive encouragement and be told, yes, there is a possibility for you. Or quite frankly, you know, you need to work on that. You might say you're this, but you don't have all of the skills yet. So maybe you need to bump up the level of your game. It's a safe place to come and be nurtured, criticized, and groomed. And it's just great. You know, I'm a film geek, man. It's just good to be in a room full of other people who are film geeks too.
Well, the number one thing that needs to be done is we need to join the 42, 43 other states in the country and enact tax incentives for filmmaking.
I know the Film Commission is working really hard. I know one thing they're working on right now, because another guy in our office is trying to help them with that, is working with the state of Ohio to give a tax incentive. Namely, if a film comes here, they get some of their money back. Right now that doesn't exist in the state of Ohio. If it did, I think films would look at us a little more closely.
They make movies all over the world. They can make movies here. We can make movies here. We can attract a creative class to Cincinnati by making movies here.
If the government shows support using tax incentives, then it automatically shows that we are a progressive area.
Because we can outcompete places like Louisiana, because we've got a better crew base, we have better locations, we don't have to worry about hurricanes blowing in, and we have a lot of advantages that we could market, but we're up against the wall with it.
Yeah, there's like 15 movies that are going to be starting in Shreveport, Louisiana. Now, I mean, you tell me what Shreveport, Louisiana has that Cincinnati doesn't have, you know, I mean, it just, you know, because at that point, you're just on a sound stage and the production is getting the better deal, and that's all it comes down to.
And look at it as it's not money that we're spending, because it's not a tax, you're not giving taxes back for something that you didn't have, you know. I mean, we don't have money coming in, so we're not like just tossing money at filmmakers. It's based on a production coming in. So it's really a no-lose situation.
We need the same kind of incentive. We need those tax incentives, because it's going to deposit millions of dollars here into the economy and help build the infrastructure necessary for people to sustain lives and have a living here. We'll invite more creative, great people here if there's work here. The economy will go up that way, as well as build the infrastructure so that even bigger pictures can come through escalation.
You know, everybody's staying at hotels, everybody's renting places, everybody's buying food, lumber. I mean, all the local crew is working. I mean, it really gets things going.
I think it's 41% tax incentive in Michigan, and then a 43% tax incentive if you actually shoot in Detroit. And they did that, I think, 3 or 4 months ago, and had $300 million worth of film shopping Detroit within the first 2 months.
I feel if the tax incentive is passed here, it'll give a lot of local freelancers like myself and the rest of my colleagues, both here in the Cincinnati area and the entire state of Ohio, to really get working here, so we can put up production values as well as New York, as well as Chicago, as well as LA, and show them that, hey, we're here too. We can do the same thing, but for less, and have the production value way above standards.
If you look at what's going on a national level, New York passed these incentives, Ugly Betty shooting in New York, 30 Rock shooting in New York, they've uprooted from LA, They've gone to New York, they've set up their production in New York, and they're shooting there. On the local level, if you look at Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati on the commercial end, this is the largest advertiser in the world. They're in Cincinnati. They don't shoot anything, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they don't shoot anything in Cincinnati. They shoot test commercials in Cincinnati. And they send everything else to New York, Chicago, LA, or elsewhere.
It's really tough. This is just a really tough business. And I think, you know, New Mexico passed it about a year or two ago, gangbusters. So my advice to Ohio was, if you want to get into it, put your whole body into it and pass a kick-ass tax incentive plan, and they'll be coming here in droves.
So it would just be like a perfect natural fit. I mean, there's tons of people around here that know what they're doing, you know, extremely professional.
I think what we can do to get more films here, it would have to be a big attack from many directions. We'd have to get our government involved to give them a tax rebate. We'd have to get photographers out there shooting the heck out of our city and the surrounding areas, showing filmmakers the different locations that are here. They should know that they can come here and they won't be without grip and electric. They won't be without camera support. They won't be without catering support. They need to know that we're here, and there needs to be someone out there constantly championing the city and the state to let them know that we're here.
So the infrastructure is here. The problem is that we need to make sure that the rest of the world understands that the infrastructure is here. Because when we encounter other filmmakers from other different area codes, specifically ones that go 90210 on the West Coast, they think we're a bunch of rubes sitting back here with, you know, a piece of hay between our teeth trying to load corn husks into the camera. You know, the idea that you could have qualified filmmakers out of Kentucky or, you know, Ohio is just something that an anathema to them. They can't wrap their minds around it. But if they would just drop their pretension and take a serious look at what we can do, they'd be amazed.
Yeah, if you're going to get in this business, do it while you're young and just hurt yourself physically. You know, pound the pavement and work your ass off on the set, and you'll do great.
You've got to have passion. You've got to love what you do. You've got to be grateful for the opportunity to get paid to show up on a set.
When you want to step outside of the soundstage and grab an exterior, like I said, I mean, you know, there's just pictures all over the place. So get those tax incentives here.